Marvelous hello, friends and loved ones! Another summer has come, and that means it's time for another list. While in previous years I'd happily refer to these as my top 10 games of not E3, I think we've all collectively just agreed to call it the Summer Showcase. So yeah, this is that, my top 10 games of the Summer Showcase. I imagine most of you know my rules by now, but let's quickly recap anyway. All shows that I watched are eligible, starting from the PlayStation State of Play on May 30th. Who am I kidding? There's nothing from the State of Play on this list. All the way up until the LRG3 show on June 20th. But as always, I'm limiting myself to a maximum of 2 games per show. Otherwise, we know certain shows could take up like half this list, and I like to keep things a little more varied. Some games appeared in multiple presentations this year, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm categorizing all games based on the first show that I saw them in. The only other big rule is that only newly announced titles are eligible. We did get to see tons of games that I am very excited for, like, no joke, Big Boy Boxing or Demon School are both likely contenders for my Game of the Year this year, but I already knew about them long before Summer Showcase. Heck, I already talked about Demon School on my Summer Showcase video 2 years ago. And yes, I'm psyched it finally has an official release date. So yeah, only new games, but that means I am once again invoking my Ignorance Clause, which states that even if a game on this list was announced before the Summer Showcase this year, well, I hadn't heard of it before now, so just let me have this. Oh, and I guess a third rule that only comes up in some years, but like, it needs to be an actual game with like a title and something to show. So, sorry, untitled future Shovel Knight project that's very likely a 3D platformer, I'd have liked to include you, but, you know. Alright, and with all that out of the way, let's get started. Right off the bat, the world, art style, and gameplay of Unbeatable jumped out at me even though I have absolutely no sense of rhythm. Everything from the 2D exploration sections to the 3D rail grinding just oozed charm, and I loved the music. I'm a big fan of the character designs, and it just looks like a lot of fun. If you're wondering why I have it all the way at number 10, it's because the truth is I've got a lot of fun-looking, stylish games on this year's list, so Unbeatable is a visually stunning-looking experience in a year with a lot of great stuff to choose from, so trust me, we're starting high and getting higher. I adore the Civilization series, and I'm a little embarrassed looking back at how many hours that I've put into Civilization 5. So naturally, the promise of doing that all over again with Civilization 7 has me ready to cash in all my sick days at work and take over the world. Admittedly, the reason why I have it this low on the list is because they didn't really show off any gameplay, but I'm gonna let that slide. I love this series, and I can't wait to get sucked back into my own little world. When I first saw the trailer for Digital Exorcist CF01 Defrag, I was immediately hooked. Pixel-based cyberpunk demonic murder investigations? Heck yeah, I'm on board with that. I found out after the fact that there is already a short Case Zero for this game that you can play right now, so I went ahead and played through that, and I really liked it, so I'm eager to see where this is gonna go. I'm already really engrossed in this world and its characters, so yeah, I want to see what the developers have in mind for the future and where the other cases are gonna wind up. If this looks like something that's up your alley too, go check out Case Zero. Like I said, it's pretty good. Sometimes I feel like I'm cheating when I include 2 games in one, and I'm okay with that, which makes it all the easier to justify including 50 games in one. UFO 50 is basically someone took the concept of the Action 52 pack from way back when and asked the obvious question, hey, what if these games were actually good? I love the blend of arcade-style titles to ones that seem like they have a lot more depth to them. I love the lore of creating a fictional software company that made all these games. It reminds me a lot of when I looked back at the Taito collections all those years ago. Many of these games have really fun-looking gameplay, cute varied art styles, and it just seems like a really good time. I'm definitely looking forward to playing all 50 of these brand new games. Hey, real quick, if you like what I'm doing, please consider commenting, subscribing, maybe even checking out the Patreon. It means a lot. Thanks, moving on. Several years ago, Battle Chef Brigade was one of my favorite titles of 2017, and I'm happy to say that the team behind it is now bringing us Battle Suit Aces, and sticking true to their guns of delivering a rich, expansive world with an incredible cast, in this case a spacefaring adventure with giant robots and stuff, but with a gameplay style that you may not expect, in this case, cards. I trust the team to do a fantastic job of blending the two together and giving me another enjoyable experience. I'll admit it's gonna be tough to top the monster cooking Iron Chef tournament world for me, but I trust Trinket to bring us an incredible game. I typically try not to put direct ports too high on these lists, but I'm just pleased as punch that we're getting the Ace Attorney Investigations collection on modern consoles. Prosecutor's Gambit is honestly a really good game, and I'm hoping more people will have a chance to play it. Now, if they'd actually announced Ace Attorney 7 properly at this showcase, trust me, that would have been the #1 on this list. But this is still my favorite video game franchise of all time. I am hyped for this collection and can't wait to put it on my Switch shelf. Now we just need the Professor Layton crossover and we'd have the complete series. Wait, why does this all seem really familiar? A cute pixel art game about moving into your brand new apartment. Okay, I can see the appeal in this. Is it going to be like a social slice of life type game where okay, now I'm a mouse? Mousebusters is a game where the more I saw, the more I questioned, and the more I questioned, the more excited I got. So you're a mouse learning more about your neighbors. Why are there suddenly Lovecraftian horrors? What the heck is even happening? What is this world? Why am I a mouse? What is going on? I have nothing but questions with this title, and I want every single one of them answered as I dive deeper and deeper into this title when it eventually comes out. Danganronpa was a game where 16 students were locked in a school with a crazy mascot and forced to try and kill each other. While I've always had mixed feelings about the actual execution, I loved the premise and many of the murder mysteries of this series. The 100-line Last Defense Academy is a game where 16 students are locked in a school with a crazy mascot and forced to try and keep themselves alive. The iconic artwork and music of a game from these creators stands out, and the strategy RPG social elements seem like they're going to make this a really fun and unique experience. I am absolutely on board with this game and really eager to see how it's going to handle itself. And let's be real, this is probably the closest we're ever going to get to Devil Survivor 3. If it wasn't already obvious from both Digital Exorcist and Unbeatable earlier in this video, I can easily get sucked into a pixelated neon cyberpunk world full of demons, but one that also uses gorgeous colors, artwork, turn-based combat, and fantastic music in a dystopian world where music is outlawed, which I'm just now realizing this isn't the first time that's been a key point of something on this list. Keylocker is just loaded with so many things that I adore, and it looks like an amazing title. The themes and visual styles appeal to me on so many levels, and they're things that I'm already a huge fan of. On top of everything else, it just looks insanely fun. As soon as I saw the trailer for this one, I knew it would be near the top of this list for sure, but there was one other game that stood out to me even more. I love it when my #1 game of not E3 is something that surprises even me. Like, it always feels super obvious when it winds up being a Nintendo game or a Megaten announcement, because we already know that these are things I love and I'm gonna want to buy. Of all the games that we got to see this year, few have stuck with me more than Sky Ocean Wings for Hire. You mean to tell me there's a beautiful-looking indie RPG that aims to capture the mechanics and world-building of Skies of Arcadia, one of my favorite RPGs of all time, with this gorgeous visual style reminiscent of Mega Man Legends, which I've noticed is a popular choice these days, and I'm all for it. I have not been able to get this game out of my head since I saw it in that first presentation, and I only felt myself getting more and more excited when I saw it in other shows. Sky Ocean Wings for Hire was without a doubt my #1 game of the summer showcase this year, and one that I can't wait to play for myself. Alright, and there you have it, my top 10 games of Summer Showcase 2024. Definitely a lot of good and memorable titles this year, from a mix of big and small studios, and I can't wait to try out these games for myself. If any of these looked good to you, I've included links to nearly all the games in the description, so check them out for yourself and give some of these devs a wish list. Apparently, that does help a lot. How about you? What were some of your favorite new games shown off this year? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you again next year around the same time to do this all over again. So until next time, take care.